Hey there, this is Mr. Icarus, and welcome to a video all about the recent Doom multiplayer open beta. This has been something I've been extremely eager to get my hands on. I've been following the development for quite a while, and I've been very interested in seeing what they do with the multiplayer FPS formula, because Doom is a name that carries a lot of weight. It's a name with a lot of prestige, because Doom begets Quake, begets Unreal Tournament and Quake 3 and a whole slew of arena shooters, and that is what is at the back of my mind when I think about my preconceptions for what a Doom multiplayer mode in the modern age should be like, and I've had to throw them out the window completely, because I did a bit of research before I started playing this, and I found that the team behind this multiplayer mode has an extensive history with working on Halo multiplayer. It's kind of ironic when you think about it, because Doom in its original form was a genre-defining game, but here, in this form, it seems like it's actually being quite derivative of the genre. There's a lot of elements here that are, quite frankly, borrowed from other games that were popular, that did it well. It seems to be something that is very much hedging its bets, hoping to appeal to the widest possible audience. And I'm pretty sure that that's the case, because this is going to be a multi-platform release. And that means you've got the console crowd to deal with, that means you've also got the PC crowd to deal with, and appeasing them both, that's a pretty tough juggling act to pull off. So with that in mind, does it succeed? No, not really. It doesn't. It's not bad. It's not good. It's utterly average in every possible way. I mean, they've tried to appease the best they can. They've ramped up the movement speed. They've included a lot of familiar arena elements. There's going to be a lot of familiar arena modes in the future as well, but going by what I've played and what I've experienced, it's just an overwhelming sense of deja vu for me that I've experienced this already in other games, and more competently. I mean, for example, if they were going to hold true to taking inspiration from the modding scene, from the popularity of stuff like Brutal Doom, weaponry would feel a hell of a lot better to fire than it actually does. Firing stuff like the plasma rifle, it should sound terrifying. I mean, the sound that the plasma gun makes in the original Doom is perfect. It feels like you're pumping out this lethal, superheated stuff that can melt things' faces off. But here, I just feel like I'm hurling spitballs at people, and that's reflected by the amount of damage that these weapons do. You get a little bit of a notification when you land a hit on someone, and a little number pops up saying how much damage you've dealt to them. And each bolt from the plasma gun deals, on average, 6 points of damage. And I'm like, I don't feel like I'm having any meaningful effect on my opponent here. And that even goes double for stuff like the super shotgun. Firing that thing point blank should mean your opponent is utterly obliterated. I don't care. They should be a red smear on the wall. Instead, you just get a little bit of a weird hit marker sound and maybe something like 46% damage popping up on your screen. That's a lot of crap. That doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel good. And while I'm at it, where's the knockback effect of all this? And I'm not talking about recoil, even though that's something that could certainly stand to be accentuated. I'm talking about what happens when your enemy somehow has enough health and enough armor to survive a point-blank super shotgun blast to the face. They should be thrown back. There should be some physical impact to that, but there isn't. They just breeze on through, as if nothing happened, no big deal. Same goes for rocket blasts as well. If an enemy's in midair, they should at the very least have a bit of a trajectory change. They should go flying off in a different direction, but no, it's like it's not even there, and it just robs these weapons of all weight. They feel weightless. They feel inconsequential. You don't really feel like you're wielding any sort of legitimate power, and that sucks. I think out of the available weaponry, only 2 of them actually impressed me in any particular way, and one of them doesn't even really count because it's a power weapon. the Gauss Cannon, and you have to pick it up as a timed spawn during a stage. It's ridiculous. It's great. It kills things in one shot. You only get about 5 shots with the thing, and it's just this big-ass gun you have to lug around the stage. The other one is the static rifle, and this one is just really interesting because it gets more powerful as you keep moving. It's got a capacitor that charges as you run around the stage, and if you stay still for too long, the capacitor drains. So it's a really interesting trade-off between having to keep moving to keep your weapon powerful and then having to pull off a very precise shot in a short window of time in order to deal the maximum amount of damage. I love that. I think that's fantastic. It feels good to use, it feels like it's dealing a reasonable amount of damage, and it's a weapon that feels like it's got a bit of imagination behind it, unlike most of the rest of the armory. I feel like this is the problem with the Doom multiplayer experience in general. It lacks imagination. And I know what some of you might be thinking, but Icarus, there's a power-up that lets you turn into a Revenant. It's great, you can just stomp over everyone. That's fine, that's fun. Admittedly, it's fun, but personally, it's just a distraction from the rest of the game, which is just overwhelmingly average. Overwhelmingly middle of the road. Doesn't really take many risks, doesn't really do anything different. And if you enjoy that kind of stuff, well, good for you, I guess. Enjoy mediocrity. I'm going to be going playing more interesting and exciting games with exciting weaponry and compelling gameplay. And I sure as hell hope you enjoyed DLC, because that's what you're going to be getting. There's nothing worse to turn me off a multiplayer mode than pre-release announced DLC. The hell? Really? Is that how they're going to play it? We're going to section off a bit of this game in the future, fragment the player base, and yeah, you're damn well going to buy it. It's probably even going to be a season pass. Nah. I'm out. I've seen enough. I had a little bit of fun while I was here, but it's not enough to keep me engaged. It's not enough to keep me coming back. I've seen the unlock system before. I've seen the concept of controlling power items in a stage before. It's not for me, ladies and gents. But as usual, feel free to let me know what you thought in the comments below. Maybe you really enjoyed it. Maybe you can rationalize what sets it above so many other multiplayer first-person shooter experiences. I would absolutely love to know. But for now, this has been Mr. Icarus. Thank you very much for watching. Icarus out.